Now what are we doing? We're doing a beautiful speaker, Reverend Marilyn Johnson. And I've known her many years through the Grove, and she's always got a different way of looking at things, which I love, because that's what we need. That's why we have discussions and talk things out, and but she is an incredible artist. And if you've seen any of her things on Facebook, it is amazing. And sometimes I'll post things that she's put out there, and she'll say, "Hey, that's mine." I'll say, "Yeah," and I liked it. And I try to give people their credit. But she's a lovely lady, and had helped so much, like up in the bookstore up there at the Grove. And she said, "You need any more fairy stickers, Reverend Deborah?" Because I love them, and I miss them now. But Reverend Marilyn Johnson was ordained as a spiritualist minister at Harmony Grove Spiritualist Association in 2019. And she loves her roles as teacher, artist, astrologer, empathic healer, and HDSA psychic fair reader. She's a resident of Harmony Grove, where she lives with her little dog, Boots. Let's welcome warmly, please, Reverend Marilyn Johnson.
Thank you so much for having me here. So as I prepare for my camera, I have an extra one of these. I think somebody walked in case you need one. So I wanted to thank Reverend Deborah and Reverend Rosie and Reverend Rosary, and also you as well, because this community is so vibrant to me. So when I come here, it just feels so lovely, and it's very special. There's something deeply, this is almost like, I think, a bad word. It's so deeply religious. And I love, ever since I was a child, I love the religiousness of the place. And so we have both spiritual and a religious tradition here, and it goes deep, deep, deep into the soul. And it goes deep, deep into the earth too. So I just really appreciate being here. So, and also the beautiful healing service, that was just mind-blowing when I sat here and felt all that vibration. You didn't used to have the healing service, but oh my gosh, what a difference it makes. It's so lovely. So today, my talk, I'm going to be looking down here because I have quite a few notes. So today what I want to do is talk about how to look at things positively. That sounds like a 1980s word, like positive. Well, let's be positive or something like that. I'm spiritually positive kind of thing. You know how we go through life and we have things that we have to deal with? I want to talk about how we can take I don't want to use the word, I'm going to say spiritually loving. That's a better word. Spiritually loving way of dealing with problems. Is there anybody here who ever had a problem? Does anybody have a problem now?
Anybody who didn't.
Right. I mean, obviously I said that for a reason, but I do sincerely, since I was a child, I've always believed that we came here for a reason. We didn't just come here to eat ice cream. We came here to learn something. And sometimes, I was just dealing with this the other day, and maybe I'll talk about it. Maybe you came into this life, and I I do talk about reincarnation. I know not everybody does. But coming into this life in order to learn something. And I do feel like I came into this life to learn something. And there's memes, you know, on Facebook where they're funny memes. They're supposed to be funny. But it's like, it's your guide who's showing you the same thing that you're supposed to learn over and over and over again. But did you learn it? Do we learn it?
No.
I'm just gonna say, and who said no? Who said
She
no?
did.
You did, and I love the way you said no. Because I'm almost thinking that it's like hidden. It's hidden what we're supposed to learn. It's hard to learn whatever that thing is. And it may be an easy thing too. It may be just acceptance. It may just be loving yourself. It may be something like that, but it's hidden from us. And we keep getting it over and over and over again. And it happened to me recently. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about it. It's a little bit too much too soon to talk about that. But anyway, so why am I talking about choosing love? You know, whenever we're stressed and worried, are we supposed to be stressed and worried all the time? No, that's right. And like what Rosary was saying, God is not a God of working for God, in essence. We are receiving the blessings. We're receiving the abundance. I just learned that recently. Do you know what I'm saying? That it's actually okay. We can love and be loved. And it doesn't have to be problem after problem after problem. I'm not quite sure if I'm making sense, but that's okay. Sometimes you feel stuck. Are we supposed to feel stuck? No. So what I'm trying to get at is to the place where we can talk about, get to the place where we can talk about how do we get out of that. Okay. Or just feeling insecure about life, so we are not, this is my belief, we are not supposed to be in that space. And there's got to be a way to get out of that space. Okay, and if we don't learn our lesson, whatever it is, it'll just keep showing up. It'll just keep coming back. Okay, so I do have some specific things I want to talk about, but in general, these are some of the things I feel that we can do. In our quiet space, we can literally say a prayer for the best and highest of all involved. Is it always just ourselves who are involved with whatever the thing? It's something else, right? It's something else is bigger, that we are having some kind of issue with. So we can always say a prayer. And, you know, that takes courage to actually do that, because our ego wants to say, well, I'm angry. I was going to say another word, but I'm angry at that person, right? I'm angry with that person. Do I want to say a prayer and send it some light and give it some space to grow, to get to a better place? And so another thing to do is to make friends with our problem. Now, that's one that I could probably try and do with this intractable thing. Make friends with my problem. Because I don't want to. It just is, it seems unsolvable, but there's something in there about how I could take a loving approach and try and understand what's going on. Okay, so having a willingness to do better for the highest good. Don't let our pride, our ego, or something similar to that get in the way, to humble ourselves. So that's general things that we can do. Okay, so now here's what I have. I have some specific stories about things that happened to me that seem like to address this situation. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do. They each have to do with love. Okay, I'm going to do this one. All right, so he was an intractable problem. I had two children, they were actually children. They were college students, but they were children. And I teach statistics, and I was teaching in a classroom that was like half this depth, very thin, or not very deep, but long, like this. So my students were really close to me, like right here. And I had two students that were sitting in the back, and they continuously talked during class. Nothing I could do could reach these students to get them to stop. It went on for weeks and weeks. And it seemed like every way that I addressed it, I didn't have the way to talk to those people. So here is the way that I dealt with it. I did a meditation. So in the meditation, I went deep into my meditation, and so I brought this up. I was asking for God or angels, my guides, anyone, to give me some help with this particular situation. There was nothing I could do. I truly wanted it to get fixed because it was disruptive, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so that is the message right there, is meditating and asking for help. So this is what I received. They were both females, beautiful, both beautiful females. And the one had a learning disability. That's what I understood. I didn't know it in real life. I didn't see it, but in the meditation, I could see that she had a learning disability, and she had oftentimes been picked on and for years and years and years. So this made her a certain kind of person. The other wounded person that she sat with and talked in statistics class, which is very threatening for some people. It's they don't know how to cope with it. Anyway, this other beautiful young woman had been sexually molested. I had seen that. I saw that. And after that, she never grew up in a way that would allow her to really trust situations and trust people. Anyway, so they were together, and this was their way of kind of acting out their frustration, was to talk during class. So the minute I saw that, I changed. That came not from me, but I changed in a certain way. But here's the miracle that happened. When I came into class after months of this happening, it never happened again. Did it ever, did I do anything? Or do you think at some level they understood and knew, they understood, she understands, or something? I don't know. It's a miracle. It was a miracle. It was something that was like tearing my hair out, and here it was completely solved. So that took, in order for me to do that, took a certain surrendering to love in the situation, to understand the person. And so that's one way. My ego wasn't in it. All I wanted to do was to fix the situation. And I didn't have the answers. So the answers came through the meditation. So, and kind of allied with that, recently, I don't have a particular example to show you, but I went through some stuff recently, and I just could not solve them in my personal life. And so what I did was, each night I would go to bed and I'd give the problem to God. And then I would either have a dream that was very pertinent, or in the morning I could feel the answer. I knew it wasn't my answer, but I could feel the answer, and it was the perfect answer. So giving the problem to God, And asking for help as you go to sleep is another good thing. Okay, so now, so I have an extra one of these pictures if anybody wants it. I want to talk about, how do I want to say this? Imagine through the eyes of love. Imagining through the eyes of love. So, I digress, but I think we think of life as being, well, we have work, we have children, we have these different things. But I think we are meant to be here also to receive our heart's delight, to be given what is meant for us in great love. And so in this picture, there are two pictures. One is a painting, one is the actual place. Okay, so, and I believe we can do this, that we can bring to us through love the things that are meant for us. Okay, about 10 years ago, I bought the little painting, which is about, 4 inches by 4 inches, little painting. And at the time, and I bought it in Mexico, and I didn't really tell anybody about it. I didn't really share it with anybody. But when I saw that picture, it was almost like, why are you wanting to buy this? Why do you want this, Marilyn? Why is this for you? And so the picture shows a little home in the country. Basically what it is, simple. It looks like maybe only one person lives there, maybe two. Very simple, and it spoke to me. It would be truly my dream to have a small place like that. But I didn't say that. I wasn't thinking that. I just said, I love this. This is so beautiful. This is so me. So that was 10 years ago. So in the next picture is the place that I actually now own. And I want you to look at the similarities between the pictures. What's profound to me is that, okay, so this is much later. If you look at the placement of the trees, they match the painting. On the left side of the house is a high window on the left side of the house in the painting. And you can't really see it, but there's also a little window at the top on the left side. It's behind the smokestack thing. The thing that's like a dormer in real life reminds me of the little fireplace, whatever you call that thing, smokestack thing. And so I think there are moments in time when we can bring to ourselves through extraordinary love the thing that was meant for us. Do I think I would ever own a cabin like this that looks exactly like the picture that I bought 10 years ago? No. And did I think about it? I didn't even think about it until a month ago. I have these two pictures. About a month ago, I figured out that they look so much alike. And every time I would look at the painting, I would say, oh, I love that. I love it so much. So that's my little story about how we can manifest into our lives through love. So this is all meant to be about stories where we go into a space of spiritual love and that we end up with something that we couldn't have really predicted, I think. You couldn't really predict that you would get the cabin, that the students would stop messing around in the back of the room, and all these little other situations that were solved by a miracle. it was like they were solved by a miracle, all the things I was going through. They were so, like you could never expect the things that happen. So we can choose that. That's what I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna close by saying, we don't have to be stressed or worried, stuck, insecure, and all of those different things. There is actually stuff that we can do. We can put energy in the right slot and let it manifest.